I'm Robyn Vinter. I'm a journalist. One of the issues that we have is the news is very centralised. It's very centralised in London. There are, as far as I'm aware, no national newspapers that operate in the north of England or outside of London in any kind of big way. So I work for The Guardian sometimes. The Guardian's got quite a big team in the north of England. But even then, that's a handful of people. And decisions aren't really being made up here. There's also an issue of class as well. So I'm working class. I grew up on a council estate in Leeds. And there are very few working class people, in national media at least. Local and regional media is a lot better, but in national media, that's definitely the case. I think that we do have a huge problem now that social media is really dominant. So a lot of the stories that I do involve social media. I use social media in my work, and to a probably lesser extent, I use social media to showcase my work as well. And I've got a lot of work through social media. And we're in a very tricky situation as journalists where we have to embrace it because there's kind of no way around that. But then for every bit that you embrace it, it's punishing as well. So it's punishing because you get abused, but it's punishing because you're too readily influenced by what's said by loud voices on social media instead of taking into account the real diversity of voices that we have in the UK. I mean, the truth is, I work for left-leaning publications pretty much, or predominantly anyway, which aligns with my views. So it's very easy in a way to frame stuff, in a way that I think is important to society, but also aligns with my views. So it might be coverage of the refugee crisis. I would cover it in a certain way. Someone from the Daily Mail would cover it in an entirely different way. So I think that's an issue. I think one thing I've noticed a lot of is how easy it is to pigeonhole people. And I don't mean in a negative way. I mean you can profile someone on the street, I think. I've done so many interviews with people on the street that I've written down loads of interviews, I've spoken to loads of people. I stop someone else on the street, they've got the same view as what's in my notebook, and I think, I really need balance, I need somebody who thinks a bit different. I can kind of look around on the street and say that person has these views, and I can tell by looking at them, which is quite bad in a way. But I think we blame social media very readily. And the truth is, in society, we're already in our own little bubbles. So social media has definitely exacerbated the problem of people being too bubbly. But it's so much. But it's based on the reality of how people are, and different groups of people think different things. I think local BBC stations, radio and TV, are definitely underfunded, definitely. But in general, there's enough staff to do the job that needs to be done, or at least in my opinion. And I think the problem is with local newspapers is there actually just isn't enough people to do the jobs that need to be done. So things don't always get properly checked. Things go up online with typos in, which isn't a reflection of that journalist because everybody does typos. But the difference between that journalist and me is somebody has read what I've written and taken out all the typos before it goes online. And that's a situation. So people very readily will lose trust in local news for that reason. But a lot of people will say they don't like their local paper, but a lot of people still read the local papers. So having people on the panel, me and Peg, both from Leeds, and having questions from the audience gives the entire panel an opportunity to hear what people in Leeds think. I think we do have strong media in Leeds, and we for years have not really demonstrated it, or not really kind of sung the praises of what we're doing here. And I think this is only the start really of better things to come.